Alright, so this is Mr. Walker, and on the screen is assignment, I think it's 1.3a, but here on the left side of the screen, this is what the assignment looks like. I'm going to look at some of these. These are our absolute value equations, and I'm going to show you how to solve some of them. So we'll start with this one. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. We'll start with that one right there. Absolute value of 10x equals 100. So we have the absolute value of 10x equals 100. Here's how you solve each of these. This is the process. First, you have to make sure that this absolute value is all by itself on one side of the equation. And it is. This is all by itself. There's nothing outside of the absolute value symbols. Once it's all by itself, go ahead and drop these absolute value symbols. So I'm just going to write 10x and set that equal to this. Okay, so all I did is I dropped these. I wrote my 10x equals this. But on these absolute value equations, you have to solve two equations. So you got to set up a second equation. And that second equation is going to be, again, it's going to be 10x. Nothing changed there. I just drop these. I get my 10x. And then I put equals. And then I put not 100, but the opposite of 100, which is negative 100. And then I solve these two equations. So looking at this equation right here, I gotta get the x all by itself. So I need to get rid of this 10. I'm multiplying by 10, so I have to do the opposite. I have to divide by 10. What I do to one side, I have to do the other side. 10 divided by 10, that's 1. So the 10 is gone, leaving just a 1x equals 100 divided by 10. That's 10. So x equals 10. That one, you don't have to write it. So you can just write x equals 10. That's one answer. But remember, all of these problems have two answers. So I have to go down here and also solve this. Again, to get rid of this 10, let me change colors real quick. I got to get rid of that 10. So I divide by 10, both sides. 10 divided by 10 is 1, leaving just the x equals negative 100 divided by 10 is negative 10. And those are your two answers. So what you do on this assignment is I'm going to clear up some space so there's enough room to put stuff down. You put this up here, and then you find the answer. I'm looking for 10 and negative 10, and right here it is. And then I just go ahead and drag that right underneath it. Okay, so let's go ahead and solve another one. It doesn't matter which one you do. I'll do this one next. Absolute value of negative 6 minus 9 equals 45. So let me clear this out real quick. Okay, so I have absolute value of negative 6x minus 9 equals 45. First thing, and the first step is you have to get this all by itself. Okay, I have to get that absolute value all by itself. This minus 9 is preventing it from being all by itself. So I gotta get rid of that minus 9. What's the opposite of subtracting a 9? Yeah, adding a 9. So I add a 9 to both sides. 9 minus 9, well, that's just 0. So it's gone. And now I have absolute value of negative 6x. That's all that's left on that side, equals 45 plus 9, which is 54. Okay, so this is now all by itself. And I can start doing what I did in the last problem. I drop my absolute value symbols, leaving just this. So I have negative 6x equals, and I set it equal to this. And then, remember, you need to set up 2 equations. So again, I drop this. I have negative 6x equals, but no longer does it equal this, it equals the opposite of this. So it equals negative 54. Those are my 2 equations, this and this. Once I solve these 2 equations, I will have my 2 answers. So I'm going to start by solving this equation right here. I need to get the x by itself, so I need to get rid of this negative 6. I'm multiplying by negative 6, so I have to do the opposite, which is divide by negative 6. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 6. That's gone, cancels out. X equals 54 divided by negative 6. Positive divided by negative is negative. 54 divided by 6 is 9. That's one answer. If I go down here and solve that, I'll get my second answer. So I divide both sides by negative 6. That cancels out, leaving just the x equals negative 54 divided by negative 6. A negative divided by a negative is a positive, and a 54 divided by 6 is 9. Those are your 2 answers. Negative 9 and 9. So what I do is I go over to the assignment and I find those 2 answers. And here they are. And then I drop it right underneath. Okay. Now, I'm going to work a few more of these quickly, just so you can get an idea of how to set up some of them. I won't explain as much as I have been, because I just want to show you the process. Okay, so let me pick a hard one, or harder one. This one right here. Okay, so I'm going to clear some space. This one. I'm going to solve that. 10 times the absolute value of 6x plus 3 plus 5 equals 95. Okay, so I have 10 times absolute value of 6x plus 3 plus 5 equals 95. Again, the explanation is going to be a little bit quicker. First thing, I got to get the absolute value all by itself. So I got to get rid of this 5. I got to get rid of this 10. I'm going to get rid of this 5 first. The opposite of adding a 5 is subtracting a 5. So I'm going to subtract a 5 from both sides. That's gone, leaving just the 10 absolute value of 6x plus 3 equals 90. And then I'm going to get rid of the 10. I'm multiplying by 10. The opposite of multiplying by 10 is dividing by 10. So I'm going to divide both sides by 10. The 10s cancel out, leaving just the absolute value of 6x plus 3 equals 90 divided by 10 is 9. Then I need to set up two equations. The first equation, I'm going to drop these absolute value symbols and write 6x plus 3 equals, and I set it equal to this. The second equation, again, I drop my absolute value symbols, so I have 6x plus 3 equals, and then I don't set it equal to 9, but I set it equal to the opposite of 9, which is negative 9. Now I've got my two equations, this one and this one, and when I solve them, I will have my two answers. So I'm going to start by solving this one. Get the x all by itself. I'm going to subtract a 3. That's gone, leaving just the 6x equals 6. To get rid of that 6 in front of the x, I do the opposite of multiplying by 6, which is dividing by 6. That's gone, leaving just the x equals 6 divided by 6 is 1. That's one answer. Move down to my blue equation to get my second answer. Again, I subtract 3 from both sides. That's gone, leaving just the 6x equals negative 9 minus 3 is negative 12. Divided by 6, divided by 6. X equals negative 12 divided by 6 is negative 2. So those are your two answers, 1 and negative 2. So I go back to my worksheet. I put that right there. Because I ran out of room, you probably could put it over here to the right, but I'll put it right there. And then I find my answers, 1 and negative 2. So let's see if I can find that. There it is, 1 and negative 2, and I put it underneath. Okay, and that's how you solve that one. And that's how you do all of these. So for instance, this one right here, same process. Get the absolute value all by itself, set 4x plus 2 equal to 34, and then set 4x plus 2 equal to negative 34. For this one, you get the absolute value all by itself, which would give you absolute value of x minus 9 equals 8. And then you would set x minus 9 equals 8. And then you would set x minus 9 equals negative 8. And then you would solve those two. This one, it's already by itself, the absolute value. So you would just set negative 9x equal to 36. And negative 9x equals negative 36. And you would solve those two equations. Let's see. This one, absolute value is all by itself. So you would just say x minus 3 equals 9. That's one equation. You would solve that. And you would also have x minus 3 equals negative 9. You would solve that. And that would give you your two answers. And it's the same process for all of these. All right. So I think that's assignment 1.3a. All right. Talk to y'all later.